Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. My name is Captain and today I will be your guide. So I will begin by showing you what classes we used, the gear we had, as well as what mods keep you alive. I will then take you through each encounter, showing you where the safe spots are as well as the most effective strategies. There are timestamps in the description below. To begin with, we are 2 well warlocks and an invis hunter. With 2 wells, you can take turns using them, meaning you will almost always have one available, whilst the invis hunter helped with reses and finishing off champions. So for gear, I ran the Braid Tech AR for barrier champions. For overloads and sniping ads, I used the Wolf Tone bow, whilst my 1k was used for DPS against stun champions and the boss. Make sure to have major spec on your ARs and bows, as they will deal extra damage against the champions, and a boss spec for your DPS weapon against the boss. Our other warlock ran the Biting Wind bow for overload and sniping. Vex for taking out ads and dealing with solar shields, of which there are only 3 in this Nightfall. There are no other shields in this Nightfall. There are only 4 barrier champions in total, so 2 people with barrier is more than sufficient. Finally, he ran Reese Regret for DPS against stun champions and the boss. Now our hunter ran an uncommon loadout, so bear with me because it worked out great. We tried it multiple times and it worked. So our invis hunter ran bottom tree for invis grenades. For the primary, he had sweet business, which made short work of the ads and the barrier champions. He too had Wolf Tone bow for overloads and sniping. Now, he ran Temptation's hook sword for 2 reasons. 1, when lowering the health of a champion, he would turn invisible and get within striking distance with a sword, not only stunning the champions, but lowering the health for a finisher. And 2, the sword has a caster perk. This means he can send out an arc charge from the sword towards the enemies. The charge emits arc bolts which do additional damage. This worked great against the pikes at the beginning. It doesn't stun overloads, but the Whirlwind Blade perk does. Now moving on to armor, for warlocks I advise you run any exotic that helps you with regen. Starfire Protocol is great for extra grenades. Phoenix Protocol works well as you can gain up to half of your super when getting kills inside a well. The Stack Helmet would work great here as it grants damage reduction whilst in a rift. Even Boots of the Assembler would work well as it creates buffs to health and damage for your teammates whilst in a rift. For the hunter, Omnioculus will be amazing as you will have an unlimited supply of invisibility grenades. Equally, Frosties are great for ability regen. Our hunter didn't have these exotics, so he ran Aeon Swifts, which worked great to our advantage as his finishes on champions would generate heavy ammo for us. This allowed us to use all our heavy ammo on clearing out champions without worrying about being low on ammo. If you want, you can bring a Titan instead and use Sentinel Shield. This will help with AWP generation and increase damage while shooting through the shield. However, you do not need to worry about having all of these weapons and exotics. As long as you have ARs and bows and a couple of wells, this strategy will work with any loadouts. Moving on to mods, 2 of us ran Particle Deconstruction, which gave us a 14.5% damage boost to our linear and fusion rifles. Meanwhile, the hunter ran Passive Guard to take less damage whilst wielding a sword. For leg armor, we all had Scavenger mods on. For chest armor, a Sniper Dampener mod will work great against the snipers at the beginning and in and around the walker. I recommend taking in an Arc Resist mod if your chest armor has Arc Energy. This will help against some of the ads, but primarily against the Arc Emitters in the boss room. A melee resist mod will also work well as some of the ads in this Nightfall are melee based. For the gauntlets, have barrier and overload mods on, and finally for the helmet, have ammo finder mods. Once again, do not worry if you are missing some of this loadout. The Grandmaster is still doable as long as you still play by the strategy and have healing rifts / wells as well as patience. Let us begin. For the first encounter, take your time and stay at the back as much as possible. There will be a couple of snipers and 4 pikes here. We use the terrain around us to outsnipe the snipers and take care of the pikes. From a top angle, you can get a clear headshot on the dregs riding the pikes without coming into contact. Once you get closer to the middle, there will be a sniper to your far right. Take him out as he can snipe you from that distance. In front of you, there will be another sniper and a last pike, usually hiding around the corner. Be cautious, as it is easy to lose a life here. From here you can split up. Some of you can continue up the map taking out the ads and collecting the pulses. One person can launch themselves to the far right and get a flank going. Again, stay near the back and use the pillar for the high ground. Once all the enemies near the front have been dealt with, there will be an overload, vandals and invisibles by the door. Keep to the back and take out the small ads around the door. The invisibles will automatically run to you, so be patient and keep an eye out for them. Once the ads are dead, take the overload out. In the next room there will be lasers, overloads and small ads. Take the lasers out first and don't be too close to them as the explosions can kill you. In each instance, take the ads out around the overload before engaging the overload last. Using a sword here helped a lot, as whilst the overlord was stunned, our sword bearer could get close enough to lower the health to perform a finisher. In this room there'll be plenty of adds spawning in numerous waves. The best strategy for this room was to spawn one wave at a time. So, clear out the adds and overloads while staying in the corridor before the room. Here you will need overhealing rifts and wells to stay alive. One full burst of bullets from an overload is more than enough to kill you, so don't stay in one spot for too long. If you see a hail of bullets coming towards you, move back out of sight and then re-engage. Once the initial adds are dead, step on a plate and raise the percentage. As soon as the adds begin spawning, retreat back and deal with them. Use this tactic constantly and it will prevent you from being swarmed. Another strategy that we used was once all the overloads were in front of us, we would stun all of them and then focus on one. Whilst all stunned, we could lower the chosen champion's health until it was ready for a finisher. The Invis Hunter will play a key part in generating heavy ammo here and sneaking up to the champions. Just be careful, as there are often Vandals to your left, around the corner, as well as Vandals and Dregs hiding around the corner to your right. Try to take out as many of them as possible. There will be a total of 8 overloads and 2 barriers. There's also a total of 3 solar shanks. Our solar grenades, Vex and 1K made short work of them. Most of the time they won't be a problem, but don't get too close as they can one-shot you in one burst of their weapon. On your way to the next encounter, you'll need to collect more pulses. Be careful, as the adds in this area do not count towards the Nightfall. The health is the same as a regular add, however, their damage is increased towards you. There will be a band of pikes here that can easily destroy your sparrows. Once in the next encounter, go to the top right and try to avoid sniper shots in the middle. The reason for the top right is because there will be a walker fighting the Vex on the left. You don't need to kill all the adds, just the walker, which will despawn the rest of the enemies. Once you get there, jump around a bit until the ship that dropped off the walker leaves, as it can cost you lives. Behind you there is a balcony where sometimes a Vandal and 2 Dregs spawn. Clear that out if you have to before engaging the walker. Whilst the walker is engaged, try to get its attention so it will turn sideways. That way, when the legs get destroyed, you will have a much better shot on the neck. This doesn't always happen, so be patient with it. In the next room, there will be an overload with small adds and snipers. Take the adds out before dealing with the overload. Near the top, keep your distance and kill the snipers. There will nearly always be one jumping to your left, so prioritize it before engaging the rest. Now for the main strategy. This is the boss room. Most people like to go to the left by the small cover. Instead, we're going to do something different. There are 2 safe spots in this room. One is to your right on top of a box. Move left till you are slightly higher than level ground. Then double jump up to catch the ledge above you. From here, jump to the box. You can crouch on top and try not to move too much so you don't slide off. Meanwhile, the other 2 can go to the top right. Now in each corner of a room, there are electrical emitters which deal damage over time. Once in them, you cannot double jump. As a hunter, you can fall off a map and double jump out of it. Whilst in a position, you will take damage over time. However, occasionally it will turn off when a boss loses a significant amount of health. The Warlocks have a job to continuously deploy wells and rifts. What this strat does is it splits the enemy's firepower. From the high ground you can see all the adds in the room apart from the ones directly below you, whilst your teammates can see the adds below you but cannot see the adds around them unless directly in front. You can, as a whole team, be up on the box or behind the cover at the back, but it is risky. Either you will fall off or won't be able to move to avoid the bullets. Ideally, the teammates behind the cover can kill adds and deal damage to the boss, but don't overextend. In a way, you guys will be the perfect decoy, whilst a teammate, or teammates up top, as you can do 2 up top and 1 at the back, can snipe at all the adds, focus on the guy behind the cover. Keep this up until the barriers spawn. Once they do, the arc fields will disappear. Focus on the barriers, but before killing the last one, make sure to jump behind the cover again before the arc field returns. If you miss it, go to the walkways connecting the platforms and double jump into the cover. Careful not to bounce off. Continue killing all the adds and lower the boss's health. In the last bar of health, kill any remaining adds and focus fire on the boss. The pillar I am on is the only pillar on the map that has a ledge that you can stand on. All the others will throw you off the map. Continue to use the high ground like Obi-Wan and you will win. And that is how you complete the Grandmaster Nightfall. If you guys have found the video helpful, then please check out my other Destiny 2 guides. By liking, subbing, and commenting, you are helping to grow the channel, which brings you more content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.